You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button.
Shea Dixon joins us now on 3 The Bengal Tiger on Twitter X at Shea Dixon. Shady, how are you?
I'm doing well. I missed y'all, so I'm glad you missed me as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a Tuesday ritual, Shea. I mean, it doesn't feel like Tuesday if we don't have you on the show. So glad we could bump it a day to Wednesday. I obviously want to talk plenty of recruiting with you, but feel remiss if we didn't start with Tyron Matthew here today. I mean, announces his retirement from the NFL and from football on Tuesday. Obviously, you covered him extensively as a recruit and in his time at LSU. Just a thought on Tyron's career and how you'll remember him as a player.
I can get in line with the Joe Burrow versus Mathieu, who is the best of the modern era debate. I mean, I've been, I guess, around here, at least in Baton Rouge, and so 4-3 range. And golly, they've won a lot of natties. They've been to another. They've had some insane teams that didn't get there, but and look, we're throwing Jaden Daniels in there too. But Matthew is on another level, and I think the thing I always talk about is something that when we lived it, we knew, and then as time went on, we forgot that he was like the shortest player on the field at all times. Like, he was just this small kid that in camps that landing SEC offers, and then all of a sudden he got out there. And I don't know how long it took, but it wasn't long before you just forgot that. Like, that wasn't even a talking point anymore. And I've never seen anyone with those instincts. And I can remember Les Miles once saying, might have been the Florida game, but there was a game that, like every game, he forced a fumble, but he had gone to the ground and ripped the ball out and had kind of fallen over his momentum over the player. And right when his feet landed, he then hops back over the player to then get the ball. It was one of the more, as Les said, he was like, yeah, that just doesn't happen. And that's who Tyrann was. And but I'm glad he got to end it in New Orleans. I'm glad he got his Super Bowl. And honestly, Moose, you want another thing, which was the low point of his career. But when he got kicked off the team, he was sitting like front row at every game.
Yeah.
It wasn't I disappeared. It was here I am. And gave him him and PP7 gave him $1 million, helped him rebuild ops. And it doesn't get any better than that. So, of course, he retires and he doesn't even get to enjoy his retirement day before LSU fans are like, so you want to come work for us? But is there a chance you can bring Tyrann onto the staff? And I guess my answer would be, first, LSU knows obviously the waves that would create. Yeah. But it's not like, oh, well, they have Corey Raymond as DB coach, or, hey, look, they just got this new guy as the assistant DB coach. There's so many front office roles now, personnel roles, all that involve former players, that involve current players, all of that I think that he could also fit into. So I'm not, if you're asking me, hey, do you think Tyrann will work at LSU one day or not? I'll lean towards yes.
I was going to ask you that, actually, Shea. That was going to be the follow-up because, I mean, as you said, it didn't take long. I mean, we did the segment on yesterday's show, and the first asked for, send in your reaction, and every single thing was, when's he going to coach at LSU? When's he going to coach at LSU? So, I mean, you said yes, so that's obviously something Tyrann would have to be interested in as well. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to speak for him, but, I mean, like you said, he's never disappeared.
No, and I think he's actually tweeted out a lot back in the day. I'm sure you can go find it, but it seemed every couple months he would tweet like, when it's over, I'm coaching it. I'll be at LSU. But like I said, it doesn't have to start as a coach. There's a lot of ways you can have value out of Tyron Matthew in a building, in an ops building. So I've got an ear to the ground. Look, I'm sure they'd love to turn it right around, but I bet he wants a little bit of break. He's a family man. He's going to kind of see what's next for him. But I don't see him going like the TV route, or him and PP7 are touring the country golfing at every great location there is. I think that he's a guy whose whole life is football, and I don't think he wants to give that up. So we'll see. Look, we did this before. Kyle Williams retired and went and worked at Ruston, and then it was stepping down. I'm going to spend more time with family. And when that LSU phone rings and they say, hey, you want to put on a purple and gold polo, it kind of changes things in a hurry.
Normally when home calls, the answer is always yes. We'll see. I mean, that's going to obviously be very interesting.
We'll get right back to the video, but thrilled to welcome Our Lady of the Lake to AFR LSU. As the championship health partner of LSU athletics, the physicians at Our Lady of the Lake serve the champions on the field in the purple and gold, but that same level of care is available to you and your family. I've been a proud supporter of Our Lady of the Lake my entire life, from volunteering at the Ronald McDonald Playroom as a high schooler to helping so many of the fundraising efforts for the standalone Children's Hospital, to my own son being a patient now at that very Children's Hospital, and my primary care physician, Dr. Kurt Chastain, at Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. Our Lady of the Lake has been a part of my medical journey my entire life, and you can learn more as well. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar.
Let's shift it a little bit to recruiting, which I guess Tyron could be doing for LSU one day. They're about to start camp. So before we kind of get into the class and some individuals in August and things of that nature, what kind of is the recruiting calendar right now for the staff as they are about a week out from camp?
It's weird because the NCAA stopped or took away that one open weekend at the end of July before August and fall camp. So we're nearing the midway point of a 2-month dead period. So the next time they can actually get guys on campus is September, which they play in away games. So you got 3 straight home games. That's a benefit, but you don't have to host, or you won't be hosting any recruits again until then. That said, all of these guys that are still uncommitted, and we'll talk about a few of them, Deuce Geralds and Jase Matthews and Darius Gray, the lineman, like all those guys visited LSU multiple times and took official visits to LSU and went ahead and got out of the way all their other visits. So August will bring some decisions, even though it's a dead period, and LSU's going to have hats on the table.
Let's start with Jase Matthews. August 8th is his commitment date. And look, I mean, LSU obviously already has Tristan Keys in the class. Jase Matthews would just, I mean, Shea, you'd know better than me, but I mean, that's got to arguably make them the top receiver class in the country if they can get his commitment and obviously get him signed. Where do things stand with Jase Matthews?
Well, yeah, you think about it. They've got, 4 commits right now at receiver. Jabari Mack and Kenny Darby being 2 in-state guys who are the highest-ranked guys in Louisiana. Tristan Keys is the top guy in the country relative to the rankings and everything like that. And he stayed a 5-star and at the top of that list. I already mentioned Jabari Mack, already mentioned Kenny Darby as the in-state kids. So they're sitting at 3. So the thought was, could you add a 4th? And they did have a 4th at one time, Ja'Kai Anderson. He went to SMU, flipped his commitment there. He's kind of like the prize jewel of their receiver class. And you get it. It's totally understandable. But can you add a 4th? Like right now, Moose, we can argue that these 3 can make up the best receiver class in the country.
That's
and for those that don't know, On3 acquired Rivals. So now when On3 does NIL, team coverage, all of that, and then Rivals, which is the most historic name in recruiting, is kind of rebranded, and we put all of our On3 recruiting stuff into the Rivals side now. So when you see a Rivals ranking, it's the On3 rankings team, so it matches kind of what things have been. And I'm looking at it right now. The wide receiver rankings, there's well over 1,000 guys ranked around the country. I didn't need to scroll past on my phone the first 2 people. Tristan Keys is 1, Jase Matthews is 2. So that's the type of talent we're talking about in Jase Matthews. And he's going to go ahead and announce in early August here, August 8th. Ole Miss, Auburn, LSU, A&M, last team standings. But if you're going to make me pick right now, I'd pick LSU. I know Auburn's been hot and heavy on him. A&M missed on some receivers. They've tried for Tristan Keys. They had Boobie Feaster leave for the West Coast. Some other Texas kids had left for the West Coast. So they're going to be in on him as well. But I don't know. I just think that they've done so well in Mississippi. But for so long, Jase Matthews has been a guy that's been around LSU. And I just think it took a while for LSU fans to look up and be like, oh, he's the number 2 receiver in America. Like, that's how good he is. And you add him to that class, it would remind me of the Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, Jack Bash group. Deion Smith had signed in that class. He was the number 1 receiver out of Mississippi at the time. But that's the type of kind of talent you're talking about here. And, boy, that would be a nice way to kind of bulk up wide receiver if you will, if you can bring in your 2 best receivers in Louisiana and then the 2 best out-of-state receivers in the country.
Yeah, that
who happen to be border states.
Yeah, memory serves. The Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, that class, that worked out pretty well for LSU and those guys, both of them first-round picks. Shea Dixon with us on 3, Bengal Tiger, obviously, as he mentioned there, rivals as well on Twitter X at Shea Dixon. Shea, a couple more for you. Darius Gray, August 9th, it looks like, is his commitment date. And obviously, Bo Davis has done a tremendous job on the offensive line. They're going to have to go out of state to pull Darius Gray. Where do things stand there?
Look, and Steve Wiltfong does such a great job. Chad Simmons, those guys, Sam Spiegelman from the national side. But Wiltfong's really been tuned in with Darius Gray for a long time, and he put his LSU pick in a while back. And Gray's made unofficial visits, his official visit weekend with family. And even though he's from Virginia, we've seen Brad Davis and this staff go out to the East Coast, wherever, to sign kids. And Darius Gray has just been a massive priority for him. And let's go ahead and get this out of the way. He's a 5-star and the number 1 interior O-lineman in the country. And last year, that's where Carius Curran sat as the top 2 interior O-lineman and at number 1, 5-star prospect. And the year prior, Tyler Miller coming out of Mississippi, or was that 2 years ago, was Weston Davis, who was late flip, but 5-star, number 1 at the position. You just can't count Brad Davis out and the staff out on these guys. And I'm still leaning LSU. There's a couple weeks left. It's the NIL era, but it's a lot like Lamar Brown. There's a million teams involved, but I always knew that it would come down to LSU and A&M. And I think everybody feels this is going to come down to South Carolina, team near him, and LSU. They prioritized him for a long time. So one of those teams is my guess, but I picked on LSU, and I haven't moved it yet. So, boy, if you want to round out a really nice O-line class, it's been very offensive tackle heavy. No better way to do it than go ahead and get the number 1 interior O-lineman in the country.
And then, Shea, Deuce Geralds on the defensive line. I mean, LSU already has a solid defensive line class. Looks like they're battling. I mean, Oregon and Ohio State definitely stand out here with Geralds. Is this an outside shot for LSU, or are they very much in this?
Well, they're very much in this. I mean, remember his dad, Tyron Geralds, played at Scotlandville and went to Ole Miss when Frank Wilson and Coach O, everybody was there. But Frank was the primary recruiter, and now Frank's here. So that's really kind of helped them out for getting him to campus and then getting the whole family in for the official visit. And he's been very quiet, Moose, about who might lead. I mean, even I can tell you, talking to people behind the scenes in different colleges, they're all like, so who leads here? Who leads here? Who leads here? And kudos to him for kind of keeping it quiet. I saw an Oregon pick go in, but I can also tell you there's some nervous moments around Oregon the past week of, are we going to get him or not? And I think, look, yes, his dad went to Ole Miss. Yes, they prioritized him. Ole Miss hasn't had a great run this year on kind of in the trenches, certainly on the O-line, but can they reel in a legacy in Geralds? I wouldn't rule him out. He's leaving Georgia. That's where he plays his high school ball. I'm with you that Ohio State has a ton to sell. I don't think he goes to Michigan. That's the other school. Mm-hmm. If I'm putting a pick in, I'm putting it on LSU. And it's not done, but I just get a gut feeling that when the dust starts to settle, with family still in Scotlandville and the Baton Rouge area and all of that, and his familiarity with the staff and, kind of the relationship he's built with Kyle Williams, Blake Baker, Kevin Peoples, whomever it might be, and then, even people on the personnel side, that LSU's not out of this. They are in the top group and kind of going toe-to-toe with the Oregons of the world.
Shea, you're bringing the heat today, man. That's 3 straight LSU picks from
yes,
from
you.
you.
That
right
was all
there.
I had, so I'm done now.
Last one for you, man. I really appreciate it. Where the class stands. I mean, look, man, there's been so much shuffling in those recruiting rankings. Does LSU still have a shot at the number 1 class?
If all my guesses there come to fruition, we sure do bulk it up a good bit. And it'll be a smaller class by design, because I think in the NIL era, rev shares here, and now they finally have a roster that is well balanced, that you don't need to go sign 30 high school kids. You just don't. So what's the approach? Well, it's signed 20 to 25, right? And right now they have 16 commits. It's easily a top 10 class. It's been kind of fluctuates in 1 for a lot of time, but if you go a month without getting any commits or whatever, and other teams start getting commits, it all kind of shuffles. But boy, you add 2 of the 3 of those, and you're right back into the top 3. So they can push for number 1, but at the same time, I think beyond those guys, maybe you find, look, they still don't have a quarterback, so you're going to go into the season trying to flip somebody. But I would guess they hit 20 and maybe a little above that, but it won't be your typical 25 to 30 man class, just because they don't need it. I mean, find the guys you feel best about, get all your rev share and NIL in order, get your playing time in order, and go after them. And I think that's kind of the smart move right now. So that's the names I'm watching. A position like quarterback, obviously tight end could be a position that takes them over 20. But right now, I think all the focus is on what happens here in the coming weeks with, as you mentioned, a borderline 5-star in Deuce Geralds at D-line, a 5-star on the O-line in Darius Gray, and a 5-star at receiver in Jase Matthews.
Quality over quantity. It's a great approach. I like that approach an awful lot. He's Shea Dixon with us every week here on AFR, on Through the Bengal Tiger, Rivals Network now as well. Get him on Twitter X at Shea Dixon. Shea, we appreciate it as always, man. We'll do it again next week.
Sounds good.
All right, that is Shea Dixon.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.